Hello, friends. The 652nd day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Over the past 24 hours, Ukrainian resources and the general staff did not report any significant changes along the front line. The only exception is the settlement of Yevhenii in the Kupiansk section of the Kharkiv direction, where the Ukrainian armed forces once again managed to recapture positions previously occupied by the enemy. The Russians also continue their assault operations near Liman Pershi. In general, although the enemy has a global advantage in the Kharkiv direction, he cannot convert it into results. Russian telegram channels wrote yesterday that their troops went on the attack in the Siversk sector and advanced up to 2 kilometers. There is no other evidence of this at the moment. In its latest report, the Ukrainian telegram channel Deep State reported that the Russians, with about 6 companies, attacked in the Yevhenii area, but were unsuccessful. The Siversk direction has been inactive for a long time. The front configuration here is similar to Avdiivka's. Siversk is alleged that the Russians can try to cut off from the flanks. No changes were recorded near Bakhmut. Clashes continue near Hormovy, Klishchiivka, and Andriivka. At the same time, the Russians claim that they have recaptured the heights north of Klishchiivka, from which they control the approaches, including to the neighboring village of Yevhenii. Ukraine did not confirm this, but earlier telegram channels of the Ukrainian army wrote about the battles for this height. In the Avdiivka sector, the Russians continue to advance on the plantings near Stepovy. As Deep State writes, the Russians are looking for weak points in the defense and are trying to attack from literally all sides in the direction of Stepovy. Sometimes equipment is used during the assault, but the main combat unit is the infantry, which climbs like locusts. There was an attempt by the Russians to attack the Avdiivka coke plant with fresh forces, but they received a worthy rebuff. At the same time, the enemy is moving further into the industrial zone with the goal of pushing our forces out of it. Also, attacks by Russians from Yevhenii towards Tenenki continue. In the Meletop sector, according to Deep State, the enemy is conducting reconnaissance in force west of Robotine, and columns of equipment are already beginning to move into action. According to him, the goal is clear: to cut off the bulge of our forces. Russian telegram channels write that at the Hon Bridge Head in Kharkiv, Ukrainian troops hold logistics and regularly supply their garrison. In addition, more solid fortifications appear there. At the same time, it is argued that the Russians are suppressing all attempts by the Ukrainian armed forces to expand the bridgehead. At the same time, the Russians do not rule out that the Ukrainian army is preparing a landing on another section of the eastern bank of the Dnipro, and the battles in Kharkiv are an operation to divert the forces and attention of the Russian army. Meanwhile, international assistance to Ukraine, according to the findings of German analysts, has decreased significantly in recent months. According to the Institute of World Economics in Kiel, from August to October this year, the partners promised to transfer €2.11 billion to Ukraine. This amount is almost 10 times less than for the same period last year. Financial support for Kyiv, according to researchers, has fallen to its lowest level since the beginning of the Russian invasion. Our numbers confirm the impression that supporters have become more hesitant in recent months, says Krzysztof Trebesh, head of the Ukraine Support Tracker team. According to him, Ukraine is becoming increasingly dependent on a small number of large supporters, such as Germany or the United States. Large-scale support packages for Kyiv are currently being discussed in both the European Union and the United States, but everywhere the process of their adoption is bogged down in political disputes. Given the uncertainty regarding further U.S. assistance, Ukraine can only hope that the European Union will finally accept the long-announced €50 billion aid package, Trebesh emphasizes. The analyst notes that a further delay will significantly strengthen Russia's position. A decision on European Union aid is due at an upcoming summit in mid-December, but some countries, such as Hungary, are insisting on suspending financial aid. At the same time, Reuters reports that Ukraine has requested F-18 Hornet fighters from the United States. Kiev's new list of preferences includes drones, Apache and Black Hawk helicopters, as well as THAAD missile defense systems. In addition, Kiev wants to receive C-17 Globemaster and C-130 Super Hercules transport aircraft from the United States. Another request is for 3 types of drones produced by General Atomics, including the MQ-9B Sky Guardian. Such a list was presented to the United States by officials of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense during a closed meeting in Washington, where representatives of the U.S. government and heads of the defense industry were present. I would like to note that the transfer of up to 60 F-16 aircraft to Ukraine has now been agreed upon. Today, the head of the Monitoring Group of Sanctions and Freedom of Navigation of the Institute of Black Sea Strategic Studies and Black Sea News, Klemenko, said that according to their data, an oil tanker from Russia arrived at the U.S. naval base in Norfolk. Today, the tanker Yevhenii brought 50,000 tons of Russian petroleum products on a direct flight from Novorossiysk to the main naval base of the U.S. Navy on the east coast of the country. The tanker left Novorossiysk on November 13th and belongs to a company from Germany, Klemenko said. The Norfolk base is the main home port for 4 U.S. carrier strike groups and the ships that comprise them. It is the largest naval base in the world and the largest base of the United States Navy, housing 75 warships, 134 aircraft, and 11 aircraft hangars. Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.